Oh God, I did not have a bit prepared for this. Hey, laugh like I said something funny. We'll edit this
Oh,
out.
that's so
Hey, you
hilarious.
should have waited till
You're
after
such
I
a huh?
explained. Yeah. Running
You're such
start.
a you're
Running
such a
start.
jokester, a hilarious man even.
Yes. Call me, please. Anybody. Oh, that's
Oh.
right. That's right. That's right. Okay. So last week
Welcome back to
I
this episode.
yes, we should probably intro it. Hit him with the intro. Our pre-planned, pre-scripted introduction. Go.
Every time, always. It, are
I
you?
said
Am I
I
doing
said
it? Are you
go.
doing it?
I said you do it. I
Oh,
said go.
sorry. I didn't read the cue cards.
Right.
Welcome back to another amazing auditorial episode of John Talks to Lamb, where John does all the talking, and Lamb just sits there and says, "Mm-hmm, yeah, no, I get that, I understand," but he's not actually paying attention.
Yeah, see, a lot of
Today,
people. Yeah, you
oh,
have
no,
more.
no,
Do you have more? Did
no,
you
you're
add
good, you're
more
good.
on
No,
to
no,
the
keep going.
intro?
You're good.
Well, I was just gonna say that a lot of people, pay for therapy like a bunch of chumps. All I do is trauma dump on my friends and expect them to rely on me
Yeah,
like a cool person would.
you just don't. Yeah, no, you're
They sort out
100%
my
correct.
problems for me. Why would I ever
I
need to
don't
do
think
that
that's
myself?
healthy.
For who?
I'm not a therapist.
For me? For them?
For either party involved, actually.
Well, you know what? Everybody needs a little bit of stress in their life sometimes. I hope I can be that for you. I hope I can be just a little bit of unnecessary extra stress. That's kind of my goal in life.
I could say probably, yeah.
Yeah. If
Your
I've ever
goal has
caused
been
anybody
completed.
to be stressed about me, good. I've left my mark on the world. You'll die a little bit younger because of me.
I
And
don't
isn't that
know
the
if
main
that
point of living? To
to
die?
die.
Yeah. Thank
I
you. Thank
mean,
you for
I live because food is good,
Hey, that's as good a reason
and
as any.
I like to hang out with my friends and play video games.
Yep.
So, like, sure. I
But
mean, I don't
what
plan to
happens?
die.
What
I know
happens
it's
when
gonna
the
happen,
video
but I'm not
game?
planning on my death to happen.
What
Or like,
happens when the video game industry collapses? You lose all the taste buds in your mouth, and I don't know. I guess you don't have any more friends. What then? Will you find a
oh
new
well, I've already
purpose?
died at that point because it's gonna
Okay,
be
so you're gonna be dead.
several
Okay,
in
that'll
the
be after you're
future.
dead. Yeah, true. That's
Yeah,
after the astronomy. That's after the thing has hit the whatever you call that thing. It hits the Earth. It's a
the asteroid,
meteor. It's a asteroid. That's what I was
asteroid,
looking
meteor,
for.
whatever. Hold on. All right, look, we've already started.
Started what?
There's a difference between an asteroid, a meteor, and a meteorite.
Yeah, just like there's a difference between a stalactite and a stalagmite. You know who gives a crap?
I do.
Oh, well, all right. I was going to be real derisive against
Oh, you
the
know what? No, finish what you were gonna say.
cave-dwelling communities.
Wow, you have problems, dude.
Really? Are you representing the cave-dwelling communities right now?
Well, as a Homo sapien who lives in a not rural town, very, very industrial, I would
Right.
say no.
Oh. Well, then in that case, shut up. How about that?
What the heck? So, anyways, a meteor. Are you ready?
Oh, yes.
A meteor.
Welcome to
Is its own
Isaiah's
thing.
Science Corner this time.
Yeah, I have to. This is educational. Have you forgotten?
Right.
We're an
For the
educational
kids, for the
podcast.
infants, for the babies out there.
Do you even know the difference?
We're trying to educate them.
Why do you keep coming back to the babies?
Of course I know the difference between an asteroid and a meteor, but you're explaining it for the audience, so I would be remiss if I were to take away from clearly Wikipedia Googled answer that you're about to give.
It's actually dictionary.com.
Okay, all right, even better.
But just because you use your cool, fancy English words tells me that you weren't a science kid.
Fancy English words?
Remiss? Who the hell says remiss?
Did I say remiss?
You did! And the fact that you said it without even realizing it says a lot.
Why would you call me out on something so every day, everybody uses that word. Remiss is a normal word.
You are the first person I've ever heard use that word in an actual conversational context.
Yes.
Any other time I've seen that word is used in a novel.
I think you're stalling.
And I don't even read.
He doesn't read. He can't. He graduated college without knowing. All he did was audiobook. Or he had me read to him. It's like driving Miss Daisy.
Shut up.
Or the Green Book.
So anyways, a meteor is a meteoroid that enters the Earth's atmosphere and burns up.
Right.
A meteorite is a meteoroid, especially one that hasn't hit Earth's surface.
Well, we're
An
not interested
asteroid,
in meteorite. We're interested in. Yeah, you about to do it.
yeah,
Asteroid.
an asteroid is a rocky object that orbits the sun and has an average size between meteoroid and a planet. So technically, this what's it called? Technically, the moon is an asteroid.
Technically, I'm an asteroid. An
No,
asteroid. Am I right?
okay, all right.
I mean, sorry, you're an asteroid
Mm-hmm.
because you're gonna get your
Uh huh.
asteroid.
Oh wow, that was so clever. I never could have thought
Yeah,
of something like that myself.
It's gonna go on a shirt. It's gonna be our first shirt concept.
Oh my god.
You may notice there's something a little bit different about us today, and that's because we're actually recording in the afternoon. It's the first
It's the
time.
evening.
Okay, I guess it is the evening. Well, when does it become the evening? I say 6.
I say 5.
Okay, well that's because
When I think of the evening, I think of, dinner time or like getting ready for dinner type stuff. But
okay.
also, most people get off of work at 5, like 9 to 5s, and I consider that the evening because that's when I usually get off too.
So okay, so afternoon is like 12:01 to 5.
Yeah,
Oh, so
that's how I see it.
the morning is just really long for you.
Sort of. It's weird. I mean, technically the morning starts at 12, but usually I don't count morning as morning until the sun comes up.
What do you
Because, like,
call
I'll be
morning
like, if I
before
went to
the sun
sleep at
comes
like
up?
4
Night?
o'clock in the morning, I would still say I went to sleep late last night. Not I went to sleep late this morning.
Ah, well that's cope. We call that cope in the video gaming industry. When
Hmm.
you go to bed, when you hear the birds chirping outside your window,
You go to bed? Huh, pathetic.
it's always better to get 1 hour of sleep than it is to not sleep, because then you go through the entire next part of the day in like a haze. Oh, speaking of haze, I watched a
Uh-huh.
video about Benadryl.
Wow, that's such an odd segue, but can go
Well,
off.
about not ODing. Well, I guess it is kind of ODing. ODing on Benadryl would kill you, but there's like certain amounts.
I feel like ODing on most things would kill you.
I think it's a concept of an OD. Yeah,
Hmm.
though he OD'd and died. They don't say he OD'd and imply that he died, because I suppose you could come back from it.
That's true,
Like if
yeah.
you OD'd on painkillers, you're like, oh, I just can't feel anything. But then you'd also probably go unconscious, and then your kidneys would probably die. At which point you've OD'd, but you could still be brought back because they could flush you out.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I watched a sort of breakdown on the community that abuses Benadryl because,
It's just
why not? Yeah.
like a sleep to go to sleep,
Well,
or
that's what the base medicine is used for generally.
Mhm.
It has a couple of functions, right? So it makes you sleepy, so it can help go to sleep. It also handles like allergies. It does have some, I think antihistamine might be the right word for it.
Mhm.
It's kind of sort of like if you have a stuffy nose or whatever, it could help with that while also making you go to sleep. But if you take like a ton of it and then don't go to sleep, you start like hallucinating at a
Mhm.
certain amount of milligrams. I don't remember the exact numbers. I watched the video once and then went, this is really creepy. Why did I watch this? And then, it kind of ends up with stuff like, talking about shared hallucinations,
Yeah.
which, I always sort of, I don't know if you remember I don't know if you took that class, but I feel like
Which
everybody
one?
that went to our school took weird science and
Yeah.
skepticism.
Word behavior and
I think
skepticism.
everybody took that class, and that's
It was
cool.
a free class, or not free, but it was an easy class. You just needed to make sure you were there.
Yes.
But it was also really interesting, for
Yes,
sure.
it was a
I think I took
fascinating topic.
both classes.
I did as well. Yeah, the dude that taught it is one of the most fascinating people I think I've ever met in ever. But one of the
Mhm.
things that he talked about was like shared delusions.
Mhm.
Like if you say for example you take Benadryl, right? You take a ton of Benadryl and then you like are tripping out and seeing like weird stuff all over the place. Uh, but you haven't interacted with anybody who has done it before and told you about their experience.
Mhm.
Your experience, theoretically, would be different than their experience and completely untainted.
Yeah.
But if you talk to this person about them doing Benadryl and then them going, "Oh my god, dude, like I saw this thing in the corner of the thing and like spiders on the walls and all this other stuff." You're going to go into doing that experience, taking a ton of Benadryl, but you're going to be in the back of your mind subconsciously, even if you've totally forgotten about it, your brain is still going to associate these two concepts, Benadryl, spiders on the walls. So when you do it, the odds of you seeing spiders on the walls when you wouldn't have otherwise seen it would be higher.
Mm. No, I get what you're saying. I think I've had that happen to me before, not with like Benadryl, but like that not collective, like yeah, collective delusion thing you were kind of talking about. I don't know what you called
Collective
it,
hallucination,
hallucination.
where
And
you've seen something that somebody else described in an
Mhm.
otherwise, oh, how do I describe this?
It's almost like
Virgin
your
experience? I don't know what you would
subconscious
call that.
creates it because your mind is expecting it to happen.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It definitely, for like I can tell you that whenever I did first start drinking, that was also kind of how it was for me. Not so much, oh, this is what I'm gonna feel or something like that, but I would talk to my friends and they would tell me how they knew they were drunk or things that they felt while they were drunk and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So
So
you
then
were
once I
judging your own level of sobriety based on other people's description of their sobriety?
100%, yeah. And
Interesting.
so I could have drank or like I could have drunk a little bit and then I just start feeling buzzed. But because of the way that some of my friends described it, my brain would be like, "Oh, I'm drunk. I need to stop drinking." But
Ah,
because I believe that's what being drunk was, I would already I would start doing things that drunk people do because
right.
that's what my brain thinks drunk people do as opposed to, "Oh, I'm actually drunk
Uh-huh.
and this is just me at my rawest form." You know?
That is just, it
If that
sounds
made any
like you
sense.
were drunk, but you were like convincing yourself that you weren't, or like you were being too intellectual about your level of sobriety.
I feel like might have been the opposite actually,
You
or
were being,
like,
wait,
or I may have been drunk, but not as drunk as I really was. But I convinced myself that I was like close to blackout, maybe. And so
I
like I would
see.
just like people who get drunk, like really drunk, they lose all of their normal inhibitors and just kind of be wild and crazy and stuff.
Right, right, supposedly.
The first couple times I got drunk, I could say that I was a lot more like that, as opposed to now when I get drunk, when I'm just like, "Oh, we're just having a good time. I'm just vibing." I was a lot more outlandish
Right.
and bashful and stuff, I
I see,
guess.
I see. Yeah, I mean, everybody has a different kind of reaction to it, you know?
Yeah,
Like, there's
and
always
then
the stereotypes. It's, like the angry drunk, the happy drunk, the sad drunk. I'm sure
the
there are
emotional
others.
one, the
Emotional, yeah, yeah.
"Oh my god, I love you so
You
much."
guys are my best friend. I
I
was I was
think
associated that with sad. But you know what? No, that's
that's
that's not the
fair.
same. That's not the same because sad is like they get existential really fast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think I don't even know. Whenever I drink, I get sleepy.
That is a major side effect. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I think Isaiah or me drunk is a mixture of like that emotional and just like happy. Like I get a lot more talkative. What's the word? A lot more social. That's for sure.
Oh, so what you're saying is we should start just drinking. Like we should just crack open like a Bud Light when we hit record.
I mean, if you want to, we can.
I don't know if we'd be able to pull that off at 11 in the morning on a Saturday.
We'll save that for an evening episode.
Yeah, yeah, that's what maybe we should do like an after dark John
Yeah.
talks to Lamb. Yeah, yeah,
We'll do
yeah.
that like once a month or maybe twice a month.
That or we just get like absolutely plastered over a Discord call. Yeah, that'd be a ton of fun. Oh my god. Yeah, but anyway, Benadryl. Don't do Benadryl. That is terrifying. There's a lot better drugs to do
I
than
don't think that's what we should be
than
promoting.
Benadryl.
I used to take Benadryl a lot as a kid, not in the sense of like to go to sleep, but that was just like the main medicine we would use for like allergies and stuff.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've never really had a problem going to sleep, which I think is kind of not normal
It's
anymore.
not. No, a lot of people have to retrain themselves to go to sleep. I think because a lot of us are our brains are always active, and it doesn't help that a lot of us, when we go to bed, we still are on like our phones, we have a TV playing, or we're listening to
Yeah.
music or something. So like our brain's still constantly running when we're trying to go to sleep,
Yeah,
which is
I
why it's
always
so
found it
hard.
fascinating. Okay, so when I was a kid, my mom used to put on I don't even know what you call them. We called it a sound machine. It was a little
Hmm.
thingy that played like white noise, just
Yeah.
a little speaker, and it had like waves, or I don't really remember the other ones. I kind of remember the waves. And now that like I remember that being a fairly soothing noise. And so if I've ever had trouble going to sleep, I've tried that again, and it kind of just sounds like static that you would hear
Hmm.
out of like a really crappy speaker, but pushed in it's waves of static. Like it doesn't sound like static. Just like when I listen to like on YouTube rain sounds. I love rain. Rain's great. Rain's a very calming sound. But then when I listen to
Correct.
it on a digital recording, it just doesn't sound the same. So I
Hmm.
think for me it's more of the feeling and surroundedness of the
Mm,
rain that makes it so nice.
I see.
But you're able
Okay,
to like
I can get
go to
that.
sleep with music, which fascinates me. I've tried that. Whenever I do that, so for example, one time my granddad had to spend a couple of days in the hospital, and so we traded off shifts. Right, we would sleep, and then another person would come and relieve us, and then we would go back the next day to sleep again, and so we would just sleep in the hospital overnight.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty good about staying quiet, but then there's always, hospital noises, and then they randomly will come in at like 5 in the morning to do random stuff. And so I found out pretty quickly that if I put in my headphones, I could enter a sort of not asleep, not awake
No, I get that.
zone.
You're
And
just
I
unconsciously
yes,
conscious.
yes. And I don't know if that's how it functions for you, because I've tried doing it in my own bed where I, put on music or something and I'm just like laying in bed listening to that, trying to fall asleep.
Hmm.
I couldn't imagine doing that and having like the TV on at the same time. That would be it's too much stimulation for my brain.
So I get that. I don't know. It's weird. So like I haven't really gone to sleep with music in a while. Uh over the last couple of like 6 months or so really. Well, there was a time period where I would turn off the TV, and cuz I would be I would have YouTube on as background noise, because I'm the kind of person who I sleep better in background noise. I can't sleep with silence because one, it's just too eerie. Two, it just my brain will just start kind of wandering into places I don't want to go to at night. Uh, and
Oh,
I don't
I so
know.
like the intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, intrusive
Yeah, I
thoughts,
see, I see.
overthinking, especially whenever I'm like really in a bad headspace and whatnot.
Fair.
But that's why I think, at least that's why a lot of people sleep with their fans on. One, because it cools you down, but also because it's just something to hear. I
Yeah,
know
the
for
like
me,
drone. Mhm.
yeah, for me, I've kind of taught myself a little bit. Well, when I stopped listening to music because I wasn't doing it anymore, it wasn't doing it for me, because I would focus too much on the music and like the lyrics or like the music and be like, "Oh, this is a good song," and then
Right.
just kind of singing along in my head, that I wouldn't actually be going to sleep. I would just be laying in bed. I was like, okay, well, let me change it to something else that I used to, or that I know that I kind of zone out on, and so I would turn on this one specific YouTuber. They do you, YouTube, but also turn it into podcasting of reading Reddit stories
Oh
and
god.
Reddit threads.
Okay, yeah.
And their name, we won't promote them right now. But and so I would just, because what it was back when COVID hit, and like when we first got locked down, I had a daily routine where every morning, because he posts at 8 o'clock every day, I would wake up, have breakfast, listen to it, or I guess watch it, because I would watch it on YouTube first. Watch it while playing a game on my phone, a very specific game. I forgot what it's called though. And so like I just got into that routine. So then I just got used to having him playing in the background every morning. Because YouTube would end up auto playing into more of his videos. So then I was like,
Yeah.
okay, let me see if that works with Spotify, because I use Spotify for podcast. And so I just laid in my bed. I found somebody who made like a whole like mega playlist of all of his episodes, and I just click shuffle and play, and I would just lay in bed, get all tucked in, listen to it. If it was too loud, turn it down, etc., etc. But I would just listen to it for a bit, and then just kind of like, oh, I remember this episode, and like you just go on, and next thing I know, I'm asleep because I'm focusing on what he's saying, but because I'm so focused on that, I don't realize that my body is slowly shutting down and falling asleep until
Hmm.
I'm asleep later. Which that's kind of what I do whenever I have something going on. Outside of YouTube, but like anything else, like even with music, I would just kind of focus on the music and how it makes me feel, and just kind of focus on that instead of focusing on I need to go to sleep. Because the more I focus on trying to go to sleep, the harder it became.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. That people try. Well, that's the reason that they tell you like count sheep. Because you're supposed to like distracting your brain from thinking about the fact that it's one of those. If you think about breathing,
Mm-hmm.
your body is doing that automatically. Your body is doing its own heartbeat automatically. So you don't
Yeah.
think about that. Just like you don't think, well, you like, okay, I'm tired. I know I need to go to sleep, but if I think about going to sleep, just like if I think about breathing, it gets harder to breathe
Mm-hmm.
because you're bringing that process more to the front. So you need to more or less like distract your brain from it automatically engaging the process of going to sleep,
Yeah. Absolutely.
which is why they tell you to not do phones.
Drugs. Oh.
Well, yeah, that too. Or drink, I think it all impacts your sleep.
Oh no, it all definitely does. I'm definitely the kind of person who will eat something or drink something before bed and not even think twice about it, and then be upset why when I can't go to sleep.
Yeah,
um,
yep.
but or like because I also have indigestion. It's really bad
Oh, okay.
sometimes, and like sometimes I would eat something that I know is gonna trigger my indigestion, but I'm like I don't even think about it until I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm choking on stomach acid.
Ooh, gross.
Uh, the worst time I had it was a couple years ago. I don't remember what I ate beforehand, but I woke up and I ran to the bathroom and I just threw up just straight stomach acid through my mouth and my nose. And let me tell you, if you've never done that, don't do it.
For
It's
those
not.
for those in our audience that are squeamish, yes, please picture that. That was
It was. It
out of
was
his nose,
terrible.
everybody.
It was just all I felt was just burning in my entire mouth and throughout my nostrils,
Yeah. Isn't it
and it was the worst
crazy
feeling
that
ever.
we could technically be like bile spitters
Yeah.
as a real weapon? Granted,
Uh,
I don't think, if we spit our bile on somebody, it would hurt them quickly.
no, it's. I don't think it's potent enough.
But it burns our insides. So if you threw up onto somebody
If
else,
you spit into their if you shoot it like into their mouth maybe,
you probably need to get it inside of them somehow through the
or
nose,
if they have
maybe
an
through like
open
the ear.
wound,
Yeah. If you
yeah.
hurl
But
onto somebody's
oh my god,
wound,
the ear would be
the ear
terrible,
would be pretty bad.
especially
Yeah,
because the ear is connected to like your sinuses
yeah,
and
it would be
nasal
all up in there. I mean,
passage.
you probably felt it when you did, explode at your face. You
Probably, I
probably
just don't
felt it in
remember it
your
now.
ears. Yeah, it was just too. It's like when you eat, like the times that we've eaten peppers, you feel it in
Oh
your ear
yeah,
because all of that's like connected.
or like when you feel congested, it's not just your nose; you feel it in your ears as
Yep,
well.
yep, yep. It's
That stuff
one big system.
sucks. Humans are wild. We're
Yeah,
built crazy.
we are built crazy.
But yeah.
All we have to do is figure out how to weaponize our stomach bile.
You know what? That's going to
How
be our next
haven't we
project.
had? Yeah, how haven't we had a scientist decide to
Probably
do
because
that?
that would be considered biochemical warfare, which is illegal.
True,
Which is why they
and
stopped
human
using like
experimentation. Yeah.
yeah,
Now I feel like I don't
morality.
know if we've talked about this on the podcast, but we may have talked about it at some point
Uh huh.
where the conundrum of using human experiments to further our knowledge of like we know what we know about the human body because of human experiments, of inhumane human experimentation.
Yeah.
For the vast majority of it, some of it's they pledged their body to science after they died, but a lot of the like living stuff,
Hmm.
like
Yeah. I mean, like
how do people wrap their brain around using like the stuff that the Nazis did as a basis for modern science?
yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, on the one hand, it could possibly further our own just everything, but on the other hand, you would be actively putting other people's lives in danger because we don't really know the effects of stuff.
True. Yeah.
which is why they do a lot of tests on animals. But again, it turns into, okay, but why are we allowed to do things to them versus, other humans? And it's a whole thing, like a whole war that's been going on for a while now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but like, ugh, let me sit up. Uh, did you know you're not a woman? I'm not a woman, right?
Okay.
But we know so much about men, like medically, biologically, and all that jazz, right?
Right.
It's not the same for women because the amount of research that has actually been done on women and for people to know what's going on with women in their bodies is so little and minuscule that most of the stuff that you find online is not like 100% true. Uh
You got to back this up. Okay. You're saying we know more about the
yeah,
male human body than we know about the
I can
female human
go
body?
yes, I can go get my female friend and roommate and she can go on a tangent for this for a long time
Oh,
as somebody who is a woman, you
sounds like
know.
we have a special guest.
Absolutely. But no,
Well,
cuz
we already missed Women's Month. We can't do it until
we
next
did.
year.
We could find another month to do it for. But no, because she was just telling me she was like doing research about certain things about her body, and she was like she had to really deep dive, and she found out stuff she's never even been told before, and stuff that I hadn't even thought about or knew about either. And I was like, wow, why didn't they teach us this as kids? For one, two, what do you mean this isn't 100% like for sure true? What do you mean we don't know what's going on inside of women's bodies?
Well, they probably haven't done enough human experimentation on them. We need to get some Nazis in here.
Don't do that. Don't do that. We're not doing this right now.
Okay, all right.
All right, we're changing topics now.
What? How else are we supposed to know? Consult
You
the magical
pissed
orb?
me
Oh,
off. You know exactly what you did, and I will not stand for it today.
look, if a woman wants to know more about her body, all she has to do is sell it to a scientist.
She shouldn't have to do that to find out what's going on with her.
Well,
Is
how
the
do you think we
thing
found out about dudes?
they actually went ahead and did research on them? I'm not
Yep,
saying.
yep.
I'm saying what you're saying is making it her fault. Because she's a woman. That's what it's coming off as. You're saying if she wants to learn more about it, she herself needs to do something about it, when in reality, she shouldn't have to do something about it because everyone should already know about the stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Well, does such knowledge exist?
I don't know.
Has she just not dug hard
Oh,
enough?
listen, the
Like we
way the
think it'd
way
be
that
on the
I do
surface.
research, the way I do research
Yeah.
is like surface level compared to her. She deep dives.
Right. Okay.
She's also in graduate school for anthropology. So
Oh,
like
so
she
she's
she
really
knows
needing to
what she's
learn.
looking for.
Yeah.
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 Uh and so she knows what to look for. She knows how to do like really good research to my knowledge. So like I trust what she tells me. Now is it like I don't know. I forgot what I was about to say. But no, I trust what she tells me. Especially again,
Well,
one of the biggest reasons is because I'm not a woman and I'm not going to be like, well, no, that can't be true because this and this and that. Because most of the things that she said, she can definitely back by factual evidence.
right. Right. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
the only way that we're going to get to the bottom of this is to have her on the pod. We'll get her in here. Get her in the
true.
studio.
Yeah, the studio that is my room.
Yeah. She have a
I
second
mean,
mic,
my
right?
studio.
She can
No, it's cool.
hang out in her room.
I'll figure out a way to make it work. We'll
Yeah.
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. 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 Cool. Now we know for next week.
Next week,
Well, I don't know. Whenever we
we'll see what
manage to get her
happens.
on. Yeah. We're very loosey goosey with our scheduling. In case you haven't noticed, we're doing this at an afternoon on a Sunday.
Why would you say that? I thought we were trying to keep that a secret.
What? I think we opened with that we're doing this in the afternoon. So we'll
Yeah,
have
I'm
more
talking about the
energy.
day that we're doing it.
He did also pound a bowl of cereal right before we went to record.
Yeah, he did not like my ASMR. I don't know
It
why.
was pretty grody. He was clinking, he was slurping, and he was smacking.
Yeah, it was.
All three things not ASMR friendly.
No, they are. You just don't like it.
Uh,
Have you ever watched slash listened to a mukbang ASMR?
I can't even. No. Okay. First of all, okay. Okay. I should say yes. I have
Uh huh.
in looking at it going, this is, I don't understand what people are getting out of this. Why am I torturing myself watching somebody else eat a lot of food first that I would like to be eating? Second, the mic is too sensitive, so I'm hearing everything. You don't sit at the table. Okay, if you train your brain to like the sound of somebody slurping, then anytime you're sitting at a table with somebody else that's eating, you're just like eating your food going, I like the sound of that. As they're going,
I mean, don't go to Japan then.
nah, it's fine over there. They're not
Oh, is
glorifying
it?
it.
Oh, I see. I see.
They
That's
just
just
do
their
it. They just
culture.
do it because it's like that's the fast way to eat.
Yeah,
All about efficiency over there.
that is true. I say as if I would know.
Oh, you did study their culture for 4-ish years.
Or like just the language for 3. Well,
That's
technically only
fair.
2 years.
Also, major weeb, so you know quite a bit about their animation.
Okay. You know what? Let me clip this real quick.
Huh?
I'm defending myself. I'm not even a weeb. I may have used to have been, but
Right.
at most I'm just a fanboy of Dragon Ball.
Okay, all right.
I have not actively watched anime in so long, it's not even a joke anymore.
Oh, okay, but what was your initial reasoning for wanting to learn Japanese?
Yeah, and that was when I was still being a weeb.
Ah,
But
I
a lot has
see.
changed in the last 5, 6
You've
years, sir.
outgrown your weeb phase? Such a
Unfortunately.
thing is possible?
Oh no, it's possible.
Nani? Don't clip that. Oh my
I'm
god,
hanging
don't
up.
clip that. Don't
You're
do it.
right. Let me clip it. It's clipped.
My
I
flawless
hope it just shows
pronunciation
up.
of the
None.
most famous word in all of Japan.
Itadakimasu.
All right, well, don't show off now.
Yeah, I know a little bit of Japanese, but I didn't even live there.
No, you did not. Some of us are much cooler than that.
No, you're just a weeb.
Speaking of, no, actually, I too have not watched anime in quite a long time. I've wanted to, but I refuse to listen to English dubs. So, in order for me to consume anime, it needs to be,
And
uh,
sub?
yes. So it takes more of my attention because I
No,
can't
I get
quite
that.
fully understand what they're saying. It's also been like probably 2 years since I've really tried because I just
Mhm.
don't have the time to sit down and watch the thing, and also to the point where I can read it. I like to watch while I'm doing something, which
Yeah,
to all of my film history teachers, I apologize that I'm doing the exact thing you told me not to do. But how else am I supposed to live?
no, I get that. That's my issue. That's why I haven't watched anime in so long, because the way that I've kind of put like movies and TV in my head has been, oh, it's just gonna play. I'm gonna watch it, but then I'm also gonna be doing something else at the same time.
Yes,
And when you're doing that and you're trying to watch sub, it's very
it's
difficult.
pretty much impossible. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're also trying to make your brain work between two languages at the same time. Like to
yeah,
me, if I was to really go into anime, I would be using it more. Well, not more. I'm using it almost as an educational tool, where I'm,
yeah.
hearing what they're saying, trying my best to understand what they're saying, but at the same time, I have the crutch that is the English translations,
Hmm.
and so then I'm, at the same time, I'm still multitasking, where I'm basically learning.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know 99% of their words, but the ones that I
But
do
those couple of words that you
recognize,
do, you're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
that means that. No, I do
yes.
the same thing.
And so if
I
you
do the
hear that
exact same
one
thing.
word in the sentence, you're like, oh my God, I know what they're talking about. And as long as you know the
Yeah.
sentence structure, if you're hearing
Hmm.
them say the word, knowing what sentence structure they're talking about and how to conjugate their verbs, and
Hmm.
then reading at the bottom to confirm that translation in your brain, that's education. So it's helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. I do the exact same thing. I'll even sit there and be like, "Oh, okay, this is they just use a what adjective they just use here." Okay, I know that they said this and this and that. Oh, they're talking in the past tense. Like once you learn like the basics, you start picking up on it a lot more.
Yes.
I could definitely say I think I am a little bit more versed in the speaking than I am in the writing at this point, though, or
I
reading.
think that's usually how it goes. Yeah. It's usually speech
Hmm.
first and then uh the actual written language because that's a whole separate skill set.
And unfortunately, for those who don't know, in Japanese they have at least 3 separate written languages.
Yeah, pretty much.
they all say the same thing technically, or they all make the same sounds, but they all can mean very different things different in certain ways. Because you have hiragana, which is their main written language for all Japanese words. Everything Japanese is written in hiragana, unless it's written in kanji, which that's a whole thing. And all kanji derives from the written characters in Chinese, and all of those kanji also can have various meanings at the same time.
Yep. Each symbol can mean different things, and they're usually comprised of different smaller pictures within the larger picture. It gets
Correct.
very
And there's, I
complicated
believe,
very quickly.
and it matters. It depends on if you're using the Japanese context of the word or the Chinese context of the word. Also, I think there's like over several thousands of them at this
Yes,
point.
yes. To the point where I think
Eh,
most, not most, but some of the younger Japanese speakers, like native people that live there, also
mhm,
struggle to translate some of the more
which
obscure
is
ones.
crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And then you have katakana, which is basically any word that's not Japanese but made in a way for Japanese people to say it. And that's why sometimes people can say things correctly in Japanese, but it sounds like it's racist because they're kind of sounding words out in Japanese, such as hamburger would be hanbaga, or McDonald's would be McDonald's. I can't think of other ones, but
There are more, I
yeah,
promise.
there's a lot. Uh,
But
yeah.
to complicate the watching anime even more, as a
Uh-huh.
filmmaker myself, one
Oh
of the
yeah, that's
things that
true.
I've been doing for years, literal, probably close to,
A decade.
no, I don't think I've been doing it that long. Maybe 6 years, probably a little bit longer, has been to record when I watch movies. I use this app called Letterboxd. Super helpful. I was you used to record it in just a document where I would write down the movie, like the year it came out, what I rated it out of 5 or 10 or whatever my scoring system was back then, and then kind of like a breakdown of what I was actually watching. And I tried to do that for anime when I started, or when I was trying to get more into that, understanding that medium. Just like at one point in my studies, I had to look at Bollywood and Indian filmmaking.
Ah, Bollywood is so good.
It's a totally different beast
Oh, it
than
is.
American filmmaking, than any other form of cinema.
I've only watched two movies that are Bollywood movies that I know were Bollywood movies at least,
Mm,
and that is Bahubali and Bahubali 2. And
but
let me tell you, it's such a good. It's so good. I watched it with my friends that I made, the friends I had in my Japanese class. We all watched together because one of my friends was like so adamant that it's such a good movie that we all ended up like somebody streamed it and we all watched it together.
nice, yeah.
It was amazing. But anyways, continue.
Well, yeah, I always find it difficult to. Letterboxd also doesn't really do TV shows very well. They're more focused on the movies and cinema side of things. And
Hmm.
so, watching an anime, it's like a 12 episode season of that was a little bit more difficult to write about, especially because you're not really able to compare the two of them quite the same. Because oftentimes, if you're watching like a slice of life genre and then trying to write about that, and then you watch another slice of life, and it's like these are the exact same premises with a slightly different twist, and they've made this 800 times. And I'm sure just by saying that, I've ticked off a large portion of the
Oh
anime
boy.
demographic. But
How many
it's
people do
true.
you
Okay.
oh
I
boy.
stand by it. You know what?
Here we
I will
go.
say this. I'm a fan of AC/DC, the band, Akadaka. All of the
Mhm.
reason that I like them is because all of their songs sound the same to me.
Oh boy.
I just like that sound. Do I like the slice of life genre? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's not the one that I would go to, but it's also
Yeah.
like people make a million isekais, right? The one where you get hit by a truck and then fly into another dimension, where then you have to
They don't
find
all
your
get
way
hit by
back.
a lot of them don't get hit by trucks. I don't think a lot of them even end up finding their way back either.
That's true. Most of them decide to stay there because it's better to be magic wielding, sword dueling protagonist than it is to be a data analyst. That's just how it works.
Mhm. Hmm.
Would I get isekai'd? I'm sure I would kill it, considering what my hobbies are.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
at any rate, I promised you before that we started this, I was going to talk about movies because I did
Are
see
you
a
gonna
movie.
go
I
off?
did. Well, no, I'm gonna limit myself again. I'm looking at the timer, but I'm probably gonna lose track of it again. Uh, so did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once? Is an
Yes. I think we went to go
award-winning.
see it together,
We
didn't we?
may have. I think that was very possible because that would have been around the time that we were
Hold on, when did it come out? Everything, everywhere, all at once.
3 years back, I
Came out in
think.
2022.
Oh, 2 years ago. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was Oscar
Uh,
nominated. I think it won some stuff.
mhm.
Everybody was like, "This is such a cool movie. This is so it's so unique, so fascinating. It's got a good story, good all this stuff, right? Very praised widely across the board." The other day, I watched a movie called The One. It's from 2001. Stars Jet Li
Mhm.
as a multiverse agent.
Gently.
He goes on a manhunt. Okay, so the movie itself is pretty bad. It has a really cool concept and a lot of, well choreographed fight scenes because it's Jet Li.
Mhm.
Uh, Overall, kind of a goofy movie that takes itself really seriously.
Yeah.
But when I was watching that, having seen Everything Everywhere first, I was looking at these two movies and going, these are like the same movie. In effect, Jet Li is like hunting down one version of himself, I should say, a multiverse, right? There's a infinite amount of them. I wasn't really sure because somehow he was hunting down versions of himself across the multiverse. He would enter a
Mhm.
new world, kill himself, and then it was sort of like, okay, so imagine Jet Li has one soul
Hold on, wait a minute.
spread out across the multiverse for all of the Jet Lis out there are all tapping into the same soul. So the fewer Jet Lis there are, the more powerful the remaining Jet Lis become because they're
You
accessing
better have seen
more.
this movie.
It's possible. It's got like Jason Statham in it.
Yeah, because my mom, so Jet Li was one of my mom's biggest crushes in film. She
Solid.
loved Jet Li.
Solid. Yeah. His picture on this is really does not do him justice.
Mhm.
But basically, the plot of this movie was about Jet Li hunting down his different versions of himself. And once he
Mhm,
got to
mhm.
125, once he killed 125 of himself, that was all of them. He killed them all. I don't know how that worked. They didn't really explain it that much. But if he killed
They didn't need to.
125, he would either become a god, he would explode, or the universe would end.
Not the internet. Oh
So they were trying to
no.
like it was Jet Li, evil Jet Li, and good Jet Li versus each other with Jason Statham being nearby,
Mhm.
kind of doing his own thing. It was just a really weird movie that I felt like it was the same concept as Everything Everywhere All at Once, where she was like borrowing powers from her other selves by sort of like
Yeah.
tapping into themselves versus Jet Li killing his other people and then getting all of their power basically for himself. And so it even set itself up for future potential segments because the end of the movie is Jet Li, evil Jet Li. They don't actually kill each other. Spoiler alert: this movie is 23 years old as of this year.
I was gonna watch it. What the
Well,
heck?
he survives. You said you've already seen it. He survives at the end. Well, because if one Jet Li kills the other Jet Li, the universe might end. So their option was to send him to like a penal colony where he just started fighting everybody that was there
Mhm.
because he's like, I will be the one. And then he just starts beating everybody up. It's pretty awesome. I really wanted to see more of that. I didn't really care the first half. I was like, these are cool fight scenes. This plot makes no sense. We're just going to keep going. And then the end of it was like, this is badass. I want more of this. And the only thing that we have beyond this, well, I really wanted to make a movie called The One 2.
The two.
Yeah, yeah, because I think that would make there's only two of them left. It would make a lot of sense to do that.
But who would they end up going
I
against?
don't know. Well, it couldn't be Jet Li anymore because isn't Jet Li dead?
I believe you did pass,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think he did. Jet Li born. Nope, he's still alive.
Wait, for real?
Who? Wait, I could have sworn. Hey, he says he's 60. He's only 60?
He's still alive. I swear he passed
That's
away.
amazing.
I'm not dead yet. in his first public appearance in years. So maybe we thought he was dead.
Yeah. He came out in the Exfordables last year in 2023.
Oh, so there was rumors that he died over 10 years ago.
Oh, and then he came back and he was like, "Guess what? I'm actually in the Expendables 4." Fascinating.
Yeah, that's wild.
At any rate, I've been kind of a an action movie kick recently.
Oh,
I started watching the Mission
bless you.
Impossible. Excuse me. Franchise. I think there's 8 movies now, or there's going to be 8 movies. I think next year.
I don't
Uh,
think I've actually watched any Mission Impossible movies.
they're actually. I don't know why I haven't been watching them.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't know. Tom Cruise is in it. That's kind of his big thing. He's that? But there's other
Dun,
ones. There's
dun,
like the
dun,
Bourne.
dun, dun, dun.
Like
Oh yeah, the Bourne
Jesus Christ, it's
Dynasty
Jason
Identity.
Bourne. There's like 8 movies in that one
Yeah.
too. That's another franchise that I need to watch. It's still like I haven't watched any of the Fast and Furious movies.
See, that one's. Yeah, I stopped watching the Fast and Furious movies after the 6th one.
Well, the fact that they have, about 30 hours of content, that's like a full season of a TV show you can watch in movie form.
Yeah.
And they just get better and better. The Rock gets in it at some
Fast and
point.
Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious. Oh,
Yeah.
there's like spin-offs movies for it too.
Yes, there are. Yes.
I haven't even heard of these.
It's wild because so I can't say the same for like the Bourne trilogy series, however many there are, or Fast and the Furious. But in Mission Impossible, at least the first 4, to be fair, I haven't seen all of them. But in the first 4, they had a different director for each one. And so each movie was totally different than the one before it.
You're talking about which one?
Mission Impossible. The Mission Impossible franchise.
Oh. I see.
Brad Bird. He directed the Incredibles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. He directed, I think, Mission Impossible 3 or 4. No, I think it was 3. Because J.J. Abrams directed 4. And, oh gosh.
J.J. Abrams directed 3.
Oh, sorry. He directed 3. Brad Bird directed 2. And then De Palma directed 1.
Brad Bird directed 4.
Who directed 2? Who am I forgetting?
John Woo.
Oh, that's right. That's the Woo one. Yes. How could I forget that? Yeah.
And
okay. Brad Bird did the last one that I watched, which was 4. I haven't seen 5, 6, or 7, 8, which I think 7, 8 is a 2-parter. And the second one hasn't come out yet.
The 5th one was directed by Christopher McQuarrie.
That name the last name sounds familiar, but I don't know what he's done.
Let's see. Christopher McQuarrie. He is a film director, clearly. I think he did the rest of the Mission Impossible series. He did 5, 6.
Oh, he sure did. They gave him the reins 7, after that. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did the rest of the. He also did Jack Reacher. He did Top Gun Maverick. Edge of Tomorrow. He does a lot of action movies.
Wow. So basically what you're telling me is if I don't like 5, I won't like any of the rest of them because he directed all of them.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Oh, he wrote Dead Reckoning. Yeah, he wrote all of them. Mission Impossible Fallout. He wrote Rogue Nation. Oh, he writes a lot of action movies, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did he direct? He directed them as well? He did. Director, Dead Reckoning Part 2, Part 1, Fallout, and Rogue Nation. Oh my God. This is making me really nervous. So then what I was saying, the reason that I was bringing that up is, excuse me, is that I loved the fact that they had a different director for every movie, and so every single one felt different.
Yeah.
Now, looking at this, all the rest of them are going to feel the same. I'm not going to go like, this is new and exciting.
But listen. Here's the thing. Clearly, they have to be doing a great job because he's directed, what, 6 of those movies
4.
now?
He's put in 4.
4.
Rogue Nation,
4
Fallout, Dead Reckoning 1 and 2.
And he's still going.
Yes, that's true. That is true. They are doing. I understand. Oh, okay. I should say I didn't understand what the real appeal was to him because they're sort of like, it's an action movie. You've seen an action movie. You've kind of seen every action movie. There's not a lot in them that makes them really rewatchable. I'm sure you heard what's his Scorsese talk about
Yeah.
the how Marvel movies were like, thrill rides, not thrill rides.
Mhm.
What do you call them? Roller coasters, right? You go on
Correct.
them once and it's fun and exciting, but then you never really go on them again. Or if you go on them again, you're like, all right, I've been here. We've done this. I know this beat.
Mhm.
To be fair, yes, I did see a lot of similarities. The first Mission Impossible, they're betrayed. The third Mission Impossible is betrayed again. So it's kind of, there's only so many story paths you can go down in these kind of films.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
I am understanding more of why people like these types of movies so much, especially Mission Impossible. Couldn't say anything about, Fast and the Furious or any of those other long running sort of action franchises. But the fact that Tom Cruise does his own stunts makes him one of the most badass
Oh,
people ever. The stuff that I've
okay.
seen this guy do, he's like one of the last real actors out there. If he, okay,
Mhm.
it is kind of weird to be praising him considering his extracurricular activities, but looking at him from an actor standpoint, I'm not saying that because I disavow what he's talking about or support what he's talking about. I'm a neutral party in this. Doesn't affect me at all. As an actor, the fact that he does his own stunts is unbelievable.
Not really. I do my own stunts.
Yeah, but your stunts are like running.
That's so disrespectful.
He did okay. He drove a motorcycle and another dude on a motorcycle jumped off that motorcycle and slammed into that dude's chest. I am hoping to God that they faked that somehow because he must have broken a rib if he had done that for real.
Mhm.
That was also in the John Woo one. I don't know if you know anything about John Woo. That's the dude that's famous for putting doves in his action shots. He
Oh.
pioneered that trope, and they did that to the perfect extreme in the second one.
Well, I could tell you this. I can tell you a few things. I think you might enjoy
Yep.
a lot, actually. Uh, what's it called? The next Mission Impossible movies. One, because according to Rotten Tomatoes ratings, which I use very loosely here.
Right.
Um, the lowest ranked Mission Impossible is the John Woo one
Oh, they don't know what
with a
they
56.
don't know what they're talking about.
And the next is the original Mission Impossible with a 66. So we're gonna skip some.
Wait, which one
The
has the 66?
the original Mission Impossible,
That's
the
fair.
first
That's
one.
fair. I think
That's
that one
Brian De
was the
Palma.
weakest of the four that I've seen.
Then it goes J.J. Abrams with a 71 and Brad Bird with a 93.
Okay, I agree with the Brad Bird one. That dude knows how to direct a superhero thriller.
Yeah.
I
So
would
then,
definitely change that though. Okay,
uh
I don't think Woo can actually be compared with the other two because his was so un. Okay. Let me
huh,
let me rephrase this as something that more people might be accessible by. Harry Potter. The first two Harry Potters are sort of their own little duo, right?
they are.
Then you
They
get
actually
to the
are.
third one, which is Prisoner of Azkaban, right?
Hmm.
Right? Isn't that right?
Listen. Just keep going. Just
Harry Potter movies in order. Okay, so Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban. If you look at the first two movies, you really can't compare Harry Potter 1 and 2 with the rest of the franchise. If you were to compare the Sorcerer's Stone with like the Half-Blood Prince, right? The tone
hmm.
is so utterly different that you could be a fan of 1 and not be a fan of 6 in the same
Yeah.
franchise with the same actors. And to like because they got
Yeah.
like a new director on 3. The first two were kind of their own little.
Which one is three? Is that the one with Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
No, that is the third. That's the fourth one. That's the
Okay.
one after that. On the Prisoner of Azkaban is the one with
Oh,
Sirius.
with
That's
what's his
when
face?
they
Sirius.
yeah,
Yeah, Sirius
where he's
Black.
being hunted down by the dog and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it gets really dark really fast. I mean, to be fair, Sorcerer's Stone, they kind of had some dark stuff. Chamber of Secrets, they also had some dark stuff in there.
You know,
But
it
then
definitely it's a complete tone
it's a
shift, completely
complete tone
different kind
shift.
of
Yes.
movies.
If you look at the first two Mission Impossibles, I should say, honestly, it's the same as Harry Potter. The first two Mission
Mm-hmm.
Impossibles are their own beast. Starting from
Yeah.
3 onwards, now, to be fair, I'm kind of guessing based on the fact that 5 through 8, 5, 6,
5
7,
through
8
8. Yeah.
are all directed by the same guy. They probably have the same tone. So
Mm-hmm.
they're probably going to be more in line with 3 and 4 versus 1 and 2. Because
Absolutely.
1, okay, let me start with 2. Wu is insane. He's insane. He's a crazy director. He does all of this weird artistic, like the
Mm.
final fight, right, is between Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise's character, and the main villain, who I don't know the guy's name. Doesn't really matter. They were like fighting it out on a beach, and every time the two of them, they kept cutting away from the fight to like a shot of a wave crashing. They did that a couple of times, right? He just put in all this goofy artistic like fluff that I was literally giggling during that. Okay, to be fair, probably ruined that final fight in terms of I don't know. It made it into something way more than just two people beating each other up.
Yeah.
But then if you compare that to like the final scene of, oh man, maybe it was Brad Bird's. I think it was maybe the 4th one, where it's basically these two guys fighting it out, but they're in like a car park. You know, one of those fancy car parks where you park your car and then they raise it up to like level 8 and then they bring it
Yeah.
back down. Yeah, they had like a fight scene in one of those. It's a badass fight scene, but if you throw in some waves into the middle of that, oh, that's art right there, baby. It was badass. I've never seen anybody do a set piece like that before. It was a kick-ass fight scene. But then if you compare that to the fight scene in 2, that's like totally different. Wu basically
Yeah.
brought in like the old like martial arts movies kind of 80s action where you're bringing in these really goofy like symbolism and stuff. And yeah, I agree that it doesn't do. Okay, I don't agree that it's the lowest rated. I don't agree that it's the lowest rated. I think it should be rated separately because it's not anywhere like the first one. The first one is also not anything like the others because it's very intellectual. It's very in the
Yeah.
brain. There's not a lot of he rides a motorcycle at somebody, jumps off of it at 50 miles an hour and slams into the dude with a T-bone. You know, there's less art behind it. There's less over the top action. There's less crazy gadgetry. It's
Yes.
basically like this dude does very basic spy things, gets backstabbed, and then has to figure out who done it. And then they kind of have some cool scenes, you know, some cool, not even really over the top. He's just kind of clinging to the top of a train for like a minute and a half straight, and then he jumps onto a helicopter, and that's pretty much the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But I
Listen,
don't know.
you talk too
I was
much.
having a great time, and I definitely
Hey,
talked way too much about movies. I told you
you
to
even let
stop
me.
me.
You were going off. I was waiting. No, listen. I didn't even get to tell you the best. Okay, so back to what I was originally talking
Wow,
about.
when was this?
Like 20 minutes ago.
Okay, right.
What? No, it wasn't. It was like 2 minutes ago. About why you're gonna enjoy them. You're probably gonna enjoy them.
Okay.
So what's his name? Christopher McQuarrie. He directed Top Gun Maverick, which had a 99 audience score and a 96 tomato score.
It's fair.
Right?
Yep. Yep.
Mission Impossible Fallout has a 97 tomato score and an 88
I'm
audience.
actually not seeing that he directed I think you're thinking that he wrote. Let me see.
Hold on, which one? No, it says director, screenwriter, and producer
Top Gun Maverick.
for
I see
Fallout.
screen. Oh, for
Oh,
Fallout.
Maverick.
I thought you were
Maverick.
talking about
Oh,
yeah
my
for
bad. My
Maverick.
bad.
Yeah.
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 He was a
He
screenwriter and
wrote
producer.
Maverick. Yeah.
But so for Fallout is 97, and for Dead Reckoning Part 1 is a 96.
Yeah. That's not bad.
We haven't got Part 2 yet because it comes out next year.
Yes. That's one of the reasons I was trying to start watching them. Because I'm preparing myself. I want to be an old
No,
head.
it's,
I want to be an old
I
head
feel
when I go
that.
to watch Mission Impossible
We've been
8.
trying to go see the new Godzilla movie for like 2 weeks now, but life just keeps happening.
Ah, Godzilla
Um,
Kong.
yeah, and so I haven't watched any of the legendary Godzilla movies, and I need to. Like I've seen bits and pieces of them through like the internet, which has been pretty cool. But like, it made me want to go back to doing one of my old projects from a couple years ago, where I was going to watch all of the kaiju movies by Toho.
Jeez,
Uh,
that's a commitment.
oh no, trust me, it is very much a commitment. There's at least like 30 plus movies. Uh, and I've only watched so far 4 of them, and because I'm trying to watch them in order too. And so the original movie came out in 1954, and so far
This is like
I got
my desire to
your
catch up on old horror anthology movies.
yeah. This is like your whole DC plunge.
It's never gonna. Okay, yeah. To be fair, I did do the DC plunge. That took me like a month, and that was all I did in my downtime. That was
Yeah,
go to class, come back home, start watching, and start doing homework for a month. That was what I did.
yeah. I mean, I've watched 4 movies.
Yeah. Out of at least there's less of them, even if it's a longer period.
Yeah. Right now I'm at 1958.
Wow, so you've seen
And
some crazy stuff.
oh yeah, again, only 4 movies, but I haven't included the movies that have came out recently, or in the American releases and stuff like that. I have seen, which I need to add those on the list later too.
Yeah.
But I also haven't added like the other kaiju like Gamera and stuff like that, just because I'm only focusing on Godzilla, because I would add so many more movies to this list.
Okay, hold on. We got to pause here. First of all, I went off too long. I did go off too long about
Yeah,
my opinions
way
on
too
these
long.
movies, right?
Yes.
Now you've swung back the other direction, not with new information on movies, just a desire to watch these movies. How about
And I
how
will.
about you would tell me about the first 4 movies that you watched? What makes them? You saw
Okay.
Godzilla 1 or -1.
Got -1? Yeah, I gotta put that on the list too.
You haven't seen
Godzilla
that
minus
one?
one? No, I did
Oh,
see
okay,
that
okay.
one.
But the difference between that, all right. Okay, hear about this. Next week, you're gonna give a breakdown of
Oh
Godzilla
god.
1 versus Godzilla
-1? Oh.
-1.
So I have to go back and watch the original one
You've seen the
again?
original one.
Yeah. You know how I said I started this years ago,
What was the
and that's
last
when
one
I
that you
watched those
watched?
4
What was
movies.
what? Wait, what? You
When
had
I
this
say years ago,
concept of watching it, and it happened years ago, and you have not
when I say
progressed
years ago,
You're
I
killing
still
me. You're
lived
killing me.
over
Oh my
there in my old
god.
apartment. This was like 2 years ago, okay? Life happens. This was like towards the end of the pandemic, so I had a lot of free
Is
time.
this like on your bucket list or something? You just keep this around for the rest of your life? It's been 2
I want you
years.
to know I quite literally forgot about it until we started talking about
Why would you
movies
bring
and
it up
stuff.
as something that you've been working on? This isn't even something you've been
Be-
working on. You did this at one point in the past and have made no progress on it.
It
I've had
was
a
multiple
desire.
points in the
I've had a
past.
desire to
I watched
watch.
them over multiple
Uh-huh.
days,
Yeah.
not at the same
You
time.
said I watched 4 of them. I'm trying to catch up on them all.
Yes.
Referencing an event that happened years ago. No wonder you wouldn't fucking remember. God damn you motherfucker.
Watch your mouth, first and foremost. Don't you ever talk to me like that
I'm
again.
mad. You made me
You
mad.
can be mad all you want to. You can be mad all you want to.
Oh, I have a desire to
Jonathan.
watch the Fast and the Furious movies. I have for years. Who
Then
cares?
do it.
Who cares, Isaiah? I'm trying to watch.
But you brought it up.
I'm trying to watch.
But you brought it up
the
still,
mission.
right?
Okay, are you bringing it up in that you want me to keep you and hold you accountable to it?
You don't have to hold me accountable. I'm gonna do it.
I demand a breakdown between Godzilla -1 and whatever the first
Okay.
Godzilla movie that you
The first
care to
Godzilla
watch.
movie is called Godzilla.
Old Godzilla versus
Godzilla
new
King of
Godzilla.
Monsters. Yes, I will say
think
this.
you've broken down the
Godzilla
gap.
-1.
Yeah.
Godzilla -1 is probably one of the most recent or most faithful recent iterations of Godzilla,
Supposedly.
because it takes place around the same time as the original Godzilla.
You better bring up some new and relevant information. I guarantee you there is not an article out there breaking down the different versions of Mission Impossible. I'm bringing fresh content to this, Isaiah.
So you want me to bring information that's already out there?
No. I want you to.
There's nothing I can bring to you.
No, well, you can bring it to
about
me.
this.
Yes, I have not seen any of them. Okay, I've seen
Okay.
Godzilla -1. I have no plans
Which
on
is
seeing
really
Godzilla
good.
Kong. I watched Godzilla minus one because I went, ooh, it also has like a really cool depiction of World War II, post World War II Japan. That sounds kick ass.
Yeah, Godzilla versus the Japanese people.
Yes.
That is who Godzilla used to be. And then he became a defender of the earth at some point. Then there's a lot of aliens that get involved in other movies. Or I guess I could do
Yeah, I
the
think
original
I think
King
Nick
Kong
Fury
versus
showed up at one
Godzilla.
point and recruited him.
Probably.
Yep. Yep.
Actually, that's what happened. That's when we got Zilla, and then they had to kill it off.
Zilla? Oh Lord.
You know what that one is,
I
right?
don't know what that one is.
That's the original American Godzilla movie that completely got rid of everything that Godzilla was and stood for, and then made it an American Godzilla, and it was a disgrace to the entire Godzilla franchise.
Nice.
And then there was a movie that they made called Godzilla Final Wars, where it's literally Godzilla versus everybody. And one of the first fights, I believe, or it's either one of the first fights or one of the shortest fights, is Godzilla killing the American Godzilla like it was nothing.
You know, I'm thinking this might not be a podcast topic. What did I just say? A podcast topic.
A podcast topic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I thought I said something else. I said something else in my head. This might be an entirely separate video. We'll just have you write and then break down the entire Godzilla franchise, just like you've done with Dead or Alive.
Did I talk about it on here before?
Yeah. Well, you've tried,
right.
and then I think I cut you off because I know how long it takes you to get through that.
You know what? I'll just start cutting you. I'll give you 5 minutes for every topic you have.
Yeah, you should just make what do you call it?
There should be a button where I can just mute you.
You just need to speak up more when I go off for 20 minutes on the Mission Impossible franchise. We really need to stop this recording. It's getting way too long. Thanks for listening, everybody. He made me mad. Right. I'm going to go.
See
Next time, I will be just as mad. Stay tuned.
You sound like a loser.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Good way to end it, jerk.